So it'll be the 12 and a half laps of the track for the Victorian 5,000 metre championship. Of course, the first of these championship races held in 1950-51, won by Les Perry, the great Les Perry. Steve Austin has won the title 6 times, the most by any man. Of course, the list of greats, it reads like the list of Australian greats that have taken out the 5,000 metres. Herb Elliott, Steve Monteghetti, Lee Troop, Sean Forrest, Michael Power, Rob de Hayden. The list goes on and on. The fastest championship race, well, Darren Lynch set that back in 2008, 13:30.96. Ron Clark, back in 1966, ran a 13:31.2 hand time. As we mentioned before, Hansen will set the pace. He's gone to the front of the field. He'll take them through the first 400 metres. Patterson is the tall, looming figure. The defending champion, of course, has had success here at Lakeside Stadium before. Took out the De Castella 3,000 metres at Zatopek last year. One of the rising stars of junior middle distance racing, of course, a 1,500 metre representative at the World Junior Championships 2 years ago, and a finalist indeed on that occasion as well. The pace is honest, the field stretched out. It's Patterson that leads the way. Mitchell Brown, a 2-time world cross country representative, that's him in the black and red, just working his way around the outside. He's in 4th place on the track. Inside of him, looks like Ramsden of Western Australia. Whiteman is there as well. He was a silver medalist for National Cross Country Championships. Bradley Coker, William Potter, of course, is better known for his exploits over the steeple, over 3,000 metres. He's well placed. Toby Rayners, the tall figure in the Glenn Huntley sky blue top midfield. As we just starting to see maybe the first signs of a fracture in the field. Hansen's pace has been honest. Patterson's sat right in. Brown and Ramsden's there with Whiteman, and the gap then is just starting to form back to the rest of the field. We've gone through 2:20 through the first 800 metres. We'll get the 3K split, the first of the kilometre splits rather, very shortly. As they're settling into their work here at Lakeside Stadium, the Victorian 5,000 metre championship. Patterson is looking to be the first man in recent years to go back to back. And it will be an achievement in particular given his age. He's just 20 years old. So we go through 2:49.65 at the first K. It's set up nicely. And that will see them move their way through on approximately a 14-minute schedule. So Hansen set it up to go sub 14 minutes, near perfect conditions, just a slight breeze here at Lakeside Stadium. As we see Patterson, Ramsden, Whiteman and Brown, they're our leading 5 at the front of the field. And some quality in that group. Of course, Whiteman we mentioned, silver medalist, the National Cross Country Championships. Brown was 4th to him earlier this year, of course, over at Moonee Valley, just 10 kilometres from where we're situated here tonight. And there's a real gap back to the rest of the field. They wouldn't want to let it extend too much further. It's 10 metres at this stage. As we approach 9 laps to go, it's Potter that's leading the charge in that next group on the track. Julian Spence leads that group. Working around the outside there, that's Bradley Croker. He took out the 10K New South Wales road title earlier this year. Went sub 30 minutes to claim that. So he's got the scope to go close to that 14-minute time they're set up for here tonight. So we see Hansen still working away at the front end of the field. Spencer's just dropped back in that second group. As it's the ACT athlete in Croker that's trying to bridge the gap, and he's halfway across. He might have a couple of others trying to go with him. Potter's one of them from the Box Hill Club. As it's Croker trying to bring this field back together in the men's 5,000 metres state championship of Victoria. Brown's having to work a little bit harder in fourth place at this stage than his rivals in Patterson and Ramsden. He's one off the plinth. Whiteman's there. Croker's brought the field back together. Philo Saunders running magnificently. He's taken out an Athletics Australia Coach of the Year title, and he's still running and running exceptionally well at that. Been working with some of Australia's top female middle distance runners, Brittany McGowan, and of course Victoria's own Melissa Duncan up there in the ACT. There's a physiologist up there, so a very busy schedule for Philo, and he's still managing to run some very nice times and has helped to bring this 5,000 metre field back together again. So we did have a group of 5, it locked back together, and they've gone through in 5:40.97 at the 2,000 metre mark. So they've just stretched off that 14-minute pace, closer to 14:10. So Hansen, in his pacing duties, has just eased it off slightly. And we're seeing the result. The field has just come back together. It's still Patterson. Ramsden's on the plinth in third on the track. There's Brown to his outside, Whiteman, Croker and Saunders. Potter's there with Rayner. Nick Earl is the gap back further. He was 6th in the 2012 edition. His best is 14:24. The pace as it slows will be more to his liking as well, and closer to his best. Then it looks to come Julian Spence and another of the Geelong athletes in Mitchell Thompson. So you can see that leading group of 5 just trying to open it up. As Hansen steps off the track, he's done his job. Has got them through 5 laps of the track and a little bit more. Patterson now assumes responsibility at the front of the field, the defending champion in control. Brown and Ramsden are there with him. Now, of course, Ramsden, the Western Australian, he was 9th in De Castella 3,000 metres, and he was 9th to Patterson on that occasion. That was on this track just on 12 months ago. So familiar foes on the gymnastics scene, particularly in the underage ranks. And it's going to be an interesting battle at the front end of the field. Mitchell Brown, he's got a best at 13:39. Very accomplished distance runner, a former national cross-country champion. He was 4th earlier in the year. We've mentioned before, 2-time world cross-country representative. Been a national medalist over 10,000 metres when he's raced at the Zatopek. So his staying capacity will be something Patterson will be wanting to watch, but of course Patterson's pedigree is over 1,500 metres. So if it comes to a sprint, Patterson might just have that advantage. As we see the field now just start to fracture further. It was together not that long ago. It's still 4 at the front. It's Brown. Now moves to the front of Patterson. Ramsden's there as well as Whiteman. Croker's just hanging on the back of them. Rayner's leading the charge in that second group on the track with Spence and Potter. 8:33.16 with 5 laps to go. That's 8:33.16 through 3,000 metres, 14:15 pace. It's slowed a little. Brown is looking to just inject a little bit more speed into this one. Patterson will go with him, as will Ramsden and Whiteman. Croker's starting to find the going tough in no man's land between the two packs. 5th place, it's Rayner, then Spence and Potter. Earl is there. Back a little further to Saunders, that's the top 10. Then it's Brown, Craigie, in the St Stephen's colours. But it's a racing 4 at the front end of the field as Patterson looks to become the first man in well over a decade to go back to back in the 5,000 metres championship of Victoria. Duayoa took it out in 2013. Craig Mottram, of course, took it out in 2011. And if you cast your eye back to 2006, won Mo Farah was the Victorian 5,000 metre champion. Of course, that was preceding a Commonwealth Games year. He ran 13:40 on that occasion, and well, the rest is history. Multiple-time world champion, the reigning Olympic champion over the distance, and we can say a one-time Victorian champion over 5,000 metres. No doubt one of his most prized titles in his collection of a very accomplished distance running career. But it's still Brown at the front with Patterson, Ramsden and Whiteman. They're working together, and you just get the sense that something's going to drop shortly. You think Brown might want to go a little bit earlier. He doesn't want to get into a sprint finish with Patterson, but he might back his experience over the 20-year-old from Knox. Whiteman's there as well, better known over the longer distances, 10,000 metres and beyond. He's a world mountain running rep. He likes it tough. Ramsden's there as well, 9th in the Zatopek over the 3,000 metres in the De Castella. You get the sense this might be just starting to test the West Australian. As we're 3 laps to go, Croker still in no man's land in 5th. Rayner leads Spence and Potter and Earl in that next group on the track. Then it's back to Saunders, Buckingham and Thompson. Further way back is the next of the Melbourne University athletes in Martin Mashford. So we're in 11 minutes travel in this 5,000 metre championship. We're coming up to the 4,000 metre split. We're on 14:15 pace at 3,000 metres. Has it quickened? We'll have the answer very, very shortly. And they go through an 11:25. The answer is no, it hasn't quickened. It's still on that pace for 14:15. So it's 2.5 laps left to go. It's still Brown and Patterson, Whiteman and Ramsden, the West Australian. Croker, the New South Wales Road 10K champion, in 5th. Rayner trying to bring him back behind him, along with Earl and Potter. Spencer's there. But it's Brown that might be just starting to ask some questions of his rivals with 2 laps to go. Patterson and Whiteman, and it might have just broken the back of Ramsden, who's just dropping off the back of our leading 3, but Patterson is going with him, gutsy running. Brown and Whiteman make that leading 3. Brown just starts to go again down the back straight. 600 metres from home, he'll start the long line for the finish. Patterson, the youngsters having the questions asked of him as Whiteman goes past him, will rejoin Brown at the front. Might be the bridging aid there that'll help Patterson hang on to this leader of the race. Athletics Essendon's Mitchell Brown. He's claimed state titles in the cross country. He's medalled over 10K, the 5,000 metres. He's yet to add as a state title in his cabinet of accolades. As we approach the bell, 1 lap to go. The men's 5,000 metre championship of Victoria, and Patterson, Whiteman and Brown are together. The bell sounds. It's Brown and Patterson. Whiteman in the gold on the inside. He's in 3rd. Gap back to Ramsden and Croker. Spence now leading that 3rd group on the track ahead of Earl, Potter and Rayner. But all attention on the back straight where it's Patterson that responds. Asks the question of Brown, who'll go with him. Whiteman's there as well. 250 metres from home, it's Patterson and Brown. Whiteman in 3rd. The defending champion will lead them through 200 metres to go. Brown seeking his maiden title over 5,000 metres, but it's Patterson that starts to shift up a gear. Holds the advantage on Brown, who might be leaving his run a little too late. It's Whiteman in 3rd. Patterson leads them in. Brown will have to go round him if he wants the win, and he does. Finds another gear. Patterson can't respond, and Mitchell Brown will stretch clear. He timed it to perfection. 14:05. He'll get the win. The 5,000 metre title is his. The defending champion will have to be content with silver, but an impressive run nonetheless from the 20-year-old.